everyone, and welcome back to Scents of South Jersey with me, Kellen, for another fragrance video. Today I got a list video for you. Thought I'd do something a little bit different. What I wanted to do is just pick 7 rare fragrances from my collection and just kind of briefly talk about them, introduce them to the community. These are fragrances that I never really see anybody talk about. Some of you may not think these are that rare. I sort of do, so again, I just picked random ones that I don't really see talked about at all too. So before we jump further into this video and get on with the list, if it is your first time here and you like the type of classic men's fragrance videos that I make sure to do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel. Check out the Scents of South Jersey Instagram page for news and updates on the channel, photos of fragrances from my collection, and daily scent of the day posts. I also have a TikTok if you want something different from fragrances. Follow Sabro88 on TikTok. It is all about champagne. And guys, I've talked about this pretty much in every video. I'm going to continue to do it because I think it's having a good interaction with people on Mercari. Mercari is a page, it's like eBay, but it's a little bit easier to utilize. And what I've been doing is listing fragrances from my collection that I'm just not wearing, things that I no longer am interested in owning, and I'm putting them up for sale so other people can enjoy them too. So if you've seen some things on my channel that, God, I wish I could find it, or I want to try it, and you just can't, they are there. Check it out. Hit me up, make me an offer. It doesn't matter. I'm never going to be insulted. I'm trying to thin the collection to have things that I really like, things that are special to me, and stuff that I actually wear. And you guys know if I wear something, I'm going to have a lot of it. So things that I'm not wearing, I would like to get rid of too. So let's not waste any more time. Again, I will have the link in the description along with the username is SOSJ, but let's not waste any more time and let's get into this list video of 7 rare fragrances from my collection. Okay, so the first fragrance, this one's from 1978, and it's from the House of Jovan. So many of you know Jovan Musk, right, is that orange juice looking fragrance, juice in terms of, the fragrance, obviously, and the big silver cap. You see it everywhere, CVS, Walmart, the rack stores, it's super cheap. This one, though, is the Sport Flanker. It's called Jovan Sport Scent. Look at that in there. It's got its own little porthole so you can see. So this is considered an aftershave or cologne. It's what is this, a 50 ml? Actually just a 30 ml. And it's got the funniest stuff on the back. Look at this thing here. It's just like just a shot out of the 70s. So let's read this here. Jovan Sport Scent for men, a totally unique way for a man to experience a fragrance. At last, there's a scent that as active and alive as the man who wears it. A sport scent for all the games a man plays, an exhilarating, powerfully masculine, and sensually refreshing for outdoors, indoors, daytime or night. Jovan Sport Scent for men, because life is a contact sport, obviously. That is so ridiculous. And just that it shows how far we've come with fragrances. You'd never see that on the back of a fragrance bottle today, unless it was maybe from some obscure country, but I doubt that. So when you take it apart, you can take a look at the box again here. There's that ridiculous thing that they have. It was made in, let's see, reorder Chicago, Illinois, but obviously, let's see, where was it made? Yeah, maybe it was made in the US, I'm not sure. But look at the bottle. By the way, it's a puzzle piece. You can take this comes off here, and then that comes off there too. So I don't know why it's like that, but that's really weird. The sprayer's really strange. It's got this really kind of citrusy, spicy, orange, green, mossy smell. It smells pretty cool, very interesting. This one is actually on my Mercari page. I'm not gonna spray it because I don't wanna lower the level any more than when I first got it and tried it. One that I just think is extremely rare. Don't know anything about it, really, more so than just my experience. I wore it once or twice, and it is extremely rare, and I would love to hear more about it. I don't know why they discontinued. I think Jovan having a sport scent would be cool, but they don't. They just got musk and then all the flankers to musk. But this one is just in obscurity, fragrance history, and I thought I'd talk about it today. All right, next up, we're gonna jump to 1994. This is a tester bottle I got, and this is from the House of Lacoste, and it is Lacoste Eau de Sport. This one I have spoken about once on Forgotten Fragrances, the Sport Edition. Look at this. It's just so tennis, so 80s, but again, it's in the 90s. What's cool is it's got the notes listed there. It is an aromatic fougere. So it's very, very, very similar to the Lacoste original, which I've done a full review on. We'll spray some of this in the air. Look at that. It's just lime green, but this one's got a little bit more of a mossiness. It's got more of almost like a Drakkar Noir when it dries down, but that opening is so bright and fresh. But it's like you mix Lacoste and Drakkar Noir together, and then you got this too. So don't know how long this was in production. I was lucky to get this bottle. I've got just over half left, maybe like 55, 60%. Not something I wear all the time, but it's one that I love, and it's a sport flanker that it just smells so good, so clean, masculine, classic. It just got a great look to it. I love the green and the white. And Lacoste is obviously a very high-end clothing brand, designer brands who not super crazy about their newer fragrances. I had Match Point, didn't love it. The original and this are the only two ones that I use often. I have a lot of bottles of the original, but this is the only bottle I have of this too. So this one's pretty special to me. Very rare. Don't see many people talking about it at all. Easy to it's just a fresh green sort of fougere fragrance that's, you know, more or less easier to describe than say like the Jovan Sport Scent that we just talked about too. But this one's awesome, and it's one that I wanted to talk about today. Okay, fragrance number 3, we're gonna jump back to the late 80s with this one. This is from the house of Francesco Smalto. This is Smalto Pour Homme. This is like a really heavy fougere type of fragrance. It sort of reminds me of like a Drakkar Noir, but like stuffier. Yeah, it's very, very, very earthy and green in the beginning. Drakkar's got a lot that like that smooth deodorant spray, shaving foam. This one's like a lot rougher. You know, people complain about the performance with this one. I had another 50 ml that I blew through. I don't think I've ever done a video on this one. I have aftershave, I have shower gel of this. I should make a full review on this one, but Smalto is great. It's like in the Drakkar Noir family, a little bit rougher, stuffier. You'd think it would last longer, but its performance is nothing crazy, but that besides the point, doesn't matter. It still smells really good. Upon initial spray on this one, that's when I mentioned it can be the most stuffy. When it dries down, I think it's the best. Don't see many people talking about this one. This one's not super rare, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, but it's one that I don't see talked about often. I see it on Instagram more than anything, but not so much YouTube. Maybe some of the other reviewers like Scentland, maybe they've talked about this one, or Mr. Smelly, I'm sure. But this one is one that I enjoy. A girlfriend didn't like it. I remember spraying it to go to work, and she walked in and she said, "Oh, what was that?" And I'm like, "Oh, you know, don't worry." But later on in the day, you know, when I came back, she was a different story. She said it smelled better too. So in the opening, this one could be a little bit much, but I think once it dries down, it's a lot smoother. But essentially think a rougher, stuffier, more rugged Drakkar Noir. Okay, coming up next is a Chypre fragrance from 1982. This one is one of, I think, the coolest looking bottles, the vibe, everything about it. You know how Lacoste, I say, reminds me of tennis, but this one is Trophy from Lancôme, Trophy Pour le Sport. So this stuff is awesome. I've done damage on this bottle. I have 2 backups because I love it so much. Plus the aftershave. This one has a full review. If you're interested in checking it out, just search through my videos. When you spray this one, it is just like a golf course just hit you in the face. It's green, there's the citrus, but the undertones of the moss and the grassiness. I absolutely love this one. Nobody talks about this one. Mr. Smelly mentioned it, I think, I'm sure he did, you know, but there's only one review that I see, and it's mine. I think he did a first impression, but I wanted to make sure I did a full review. But just the look of this thing, this is like what I love about vintage fragrances. That's why I do a lot on the presentations, because things like this, or like the Sport, or, you know, you take a look at these, like a lot of time is put in the presentations now, or, you know, unless it's some super high-end niche where you get the box and all that stuff, but a lot of that, you're paying for that. But these back then, like, look at the box. It's just green. The golfer on it, I don't know. There's something classic about these that I like. And Trophy was a big golf tournament back in the day, and I think Lancôme did a tribute to it, and that's why they made this scent. But when this one dries down, it's so nice, and it's so smooth. It's a great sports scent, just outdoors, you know, casual, but also very masculine at the same time. Great everyday fragrance. Very rare, discontinued, unfortunately. I think there was one other presentation that came out in 2002 that didn't have the whole golf look to it. It was just in a regular bottle. And if you look it up on Fragrantica, that's what you'll see. But this one, I don't know, something about it is just really special. I love it, and I absolutely love the scent. The aftershave is cool too. The bottle, the cap is like a golf ball. So that's Trophy by Lancôme. Again, 1980, what did I write down there? 1982, Chypre fragrance. All right, so fragrance number 5 on this list. This one is from 1989 from the House of Cartier. And this one is Santos de Cartier Eau de Sport Pour Homme. I swear I did not mean to have this whole list be virtually all sport flankers, but sometimes those are the most rare, especially with these classics. But look at this bottle. It's plastic. It's a plastic bottle, definitely meant to be carried around in any sort of gym bag or duffel bag or anything like that. You can see down here. I don't even know what the heck any of this says too, but I got this one a couple years ago Very, very rare, very discontinued. There's no question about that too. Take a look at all this stuff there. So let's spray some of this on. Spray it on my hand. So the cap, you can definitely pick it up. Now it's got a, sprayers just like this. Nice sprayer. And wow, it's like a spike. You know how like the original one, Santos de Cartier, is like an ashtray, kind of leathery ashtray, smoky, very like I'm in a strip club like Silvio Dante smoking cigarettes and yelling at women all night. This one's a much spicier, just fresher, brightened up version of the original. There's no citrus in here. It's not like a fresh like the other, some like Trophy or Lacoste, but the spiciness brightens it up and it doesn't have that like cigarette ashtray type of smell that the original one does. I actually like this better than the original, I think. The original, I'm pretty sure I sold off all my regular ones, even the concentrate version. Liked it, didn't love it. This one, though, being rare, smells so nice. And I remember getting it and I wasn't sure. And then it was just like you had to wear it a few times, which happens a lot of times with fragrances. But, again, just a super old school look to it. And eau de sport, they don't do that anymore. If this is sport, it's like, it just smells like shower gel. But these were masculine scents that they made for sporty occasions or more active wear. But, people probably wore them just as a daily signature scent. But this one's very rare, very, very nice. And I'm super happy to have it in my collection. Again, think the other one just less on the smokiness and the cigarette, the tobacco, and more on spice, which definitely freshens it up, which is why I think they decided to call it an eau de sport. All right, fragrance number 6 on this list. This is from 1981, so I believe it is the second oldest on this list. It's a woody, floral, musky scent, but I get very green along with the woods and the florals and the musk. But it is from Calvin Klein. It is Calvin by Calvin Klein. But this one is the cologne. It's not the eau de toilette, so I don't really see this one as much. I have an eau de toilette spray. This is 100 ml, so 3.4 ounce bottle there. You can see here, very simple presentation. Almost looks like a clip to a gun magazine or something like that. So you take this off, and it's got a splash on here too. So let's mess with this a little bit here. I'll just put some on my hand. Yeah, this one, it is exactly like it says, floral, musky, woods, but you definitely get green in there too, very green. This one's a strong one. For a cologne, I remember wearing this on the first date with my girlfriend. This is one I decided to wear because I'm like, I don't want to go chorus, that's too strong. I had just gotten this not too recently before that, or long before that, excuse me, and I decided to wear it, and it lasted all night, stuck to my shirt, and I think I combined it with the eau de toilette too, because I like to spray, but after a shower, you put this one on, splash it around your neck, it's gonna stay with you. It's definitely patchouli in there too, but not super heavy, and I'm just guessing. I don't have the notes in front of me. I didn't want to do that with this video, but it's very rare. Not many people talk about this one at all. It took me a little bit initially, but once I wore it, I decided I did like the fragrance, and it's just one that you don't see often, so I would keep it. As far as the body line goes, I have the eau de toilette and an aftershave, and that's about it, but you don't see the cologne. That's why I'm curious to know, did they make different concentrations of it? Or was it just a flash in the pan that they had a cologne too, that it's a splash bottle too? Because it's not an aftershave, but very rare, very old school, classic. This one I think is polarizing. Like if you have it, you may absolutely hate it, but it's one that I think just smells nice. And sometimes I think, maybe I'll sell it. I don't really wear it that often, but then I try it again and I was reminded, just like today, I'm like, okay, it's actually pretty good. I like it. All right, fragrance number 7, the final fragrance on this list from 1998. And this one's a woody but leathery fragrance too. Sometimes, maybe not that rare. This one might not be as one of the more less rare ones on the list, but one that I don't see talked about too often. And it's awesome, from the Italian house of Fendi. It is Fendi Uomo. Guys, I wore this one on New Year's. This stuff slaps. This stuff, you put this one on, it's like, this is like the refined or classier Santos de Cartier. That's what I know when I think about it now, is when you spray it, it's got a leathery scent, a little bit of a smoky, club room where people may have smoked some cigars. There's some tobacco notes in there, but it really is nice. It's just, God, it smells so good. And when it's on for a while, it dries down a little rough, harsher in the beginning, but let that set in for a few minutes, and Fendi Uomo really comes alive. Just so classic, very strong, very long lasting. I have a aftershave balm and an aftershave. This is the only bottle of this I have. I've used a decent amount there, probably got like, what do you think? Maybe 60, 70% left, something like that. I look for it often, but it's hard to find. It smells amazing. One of the more stronger denser, deeper, less green, more on the leather, tobacco, and smoky spiciness side of Italian fragrances. Usually they're fresher. They're more like, things like that we looked at today, like Gusto de Sport, even though it's not Italian, but you get my point. Things like Acqua di Parma, stuff like that. That's usually what you see with Italian perfumery, but this one was really strong, really masculine, and extremely 80s, very 80s smell, and it smells so good. Again, it was the first fragrance I wore of the last one of 2022 and the first one of 2023. So when I brought it to my friend's house while we were out partying, but this stuff smells so good. Not talked about. Beautiful bottle, black, gold, got that kind of marble and granite look to it. I love it, love the presentation, and absolutely love the smell. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed my video and my random selection of what I consider to be relatively rare fragrances, some more rare than others too. So let me know in the comments section, do you own any of these fragrances? Do you like any of these fragrances? What's the most rare fragrance you own? Please let me know below. You guys know I always appreciate all of the interaction. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow the Instagram page, check out the TikTok, and check out the Mercari page. See if there's anything there that you like. If you're looking for something in particular, you don't see it listed, don't ever hesitate to message me. I'm always looking to trade, buy, or sell things that I enjoyed in terms of fragrances, obviously. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and watching the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.